Hey, what's up everyone? I want to make this video to show you how to do some basic things on the graphing calculator. And we're going to start off with knowing the difference between the negative key and the subtraction key. So if you want to do a computation like -5 minus -3, the calculator has two different buttons, one down here for the negative symbol and one over here for the subtraction operation. So we have to click the negative symbol and then 5 for -5 and then minus for subtraction. And then you can just do a -3, or if you want to enter parentheses like you see it, do parentheses, -3, close parentheses. And either way, that'll give you your answer. So just try to make sure you don't use the subtraction as a negative or the negative as subtraction, and you'll be good. Moving on to some fraction stuff, we'll do computations like this where we have kind of an operation inside a fraction, and a lot of people will enter it like this, 12 minus 5, and then divided by 3. This is the wrong answer because the calculator is following the order of operations, and it's doing the division first, and then 12 minus that result. There's a couple ways you can get around with that. One of that is just putting parentheses in around the top, so the calculator knows to do the top separately, and then divide that by 3. That's the correct answer. Or you could do this calculation separately, do 12 minus 5, get your answer, and then if you immediately hit divided by 3, it'll take your previous answer of 7, it calls that answer now, divides that by 3, and again you get the correct answer. Speaking of fractions, one of the best things you can do on the calculator is simplify a fraction. I like to just type the fraction in like you see it. By the way, I'm using obviously the division symbol as the fraction bar because all fractions are little division problems. 256 divided by 12 is this, but if you go to math and your first option frac, it'll take your previous answer, that decimal, and it will turn it into a fraction, and that effectively takes your original fraction and reduces it to lowest terms. On to powers, you can take a number like 3 and square it using this little x squared button for 3 squared. But if you want to raise things to other powers, you're going to have to use this caret button, which is right below clear. So if you press 3 and then caret to raise you to a power and then 5, you'll get 3 to the 5th. You can, you got to be careful when you raise negative numbers to powers. I picked a bad example here, I realize, because it's an odd power, it's not going to matter. Let's make this to the 6th power. So check out if we do -3 in parentheses and raise it to the 6th power, we get 729. If you do -3 without the parentheses and raise it to the 6th power, you get -729. Remember, the calculator is very literal, and the order of operations say that exponents come before things like subtraction or applying signs. So in this first scenario, the -3, the negative and the 3 are both being raised to the 6th power. So -3 times -3 times -3, etc. Here, the 3 is being raised to the 6th power, and then the negative is being applied afterwards. So just look out for the order of operations, parentheses, negatives, powers. Just make sure you're careful with how you enter those things. And lastly, if you want to raise something to a fractional power, you can do it the same way, the 1/3. Now my calculator is nicer because it pops you up in the exponent position, so we know it's 3 to the whole 1/3 power. But honestly, not all calculators will do that. Some of them just might show the caret button instead of actually putting you up here. So in general, whenever I'm doing a fractional power or anything with fractions, I like to put the fractions in parentheses. That way the calculator knows for sure that 3 is being raised to the entire 1/3 power altogether. And then roots. Square root's pretty common, so there's a specific button for it right above x squared. If you press second x squared for the square root symbol, and then you can enter something like 10, and you get the square root of 10. If you want to take any other type of root, though, like a 5th root or any advanced roots, the way I would do it, so 5th root, 5 is what we call the index, the type of root we're taking. So first enter 5, then go to math. And if you notice down here, there is an option for a 3rd root, but even better below it is the xth root. This will let you take any type of root you want. So when I choose that now, since I already entered a 5 as my index, and then I chose x the root, it's automatically reading this as 5th root of. Again, your calculator might not output it exactly like this, but you should get the same answer. And then when you plug in 135, now we're taking the 5th root of 135. Okay, so those are just some basic tools that will hopefully help you be successful on the calculator and not run into too much frustration. Thank you all for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch you next time.